Hey, welcome back. I hope you had a chance to watch the video on the estimating application. If not, you might want to stop and go back and watch that one first because this video builds on that. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to see what happens when we convert an estimate to a work order, when we press this button right here. When we do, a lot of things happen in the background. The end result of which is that we flesh out the job admin application, we create all of the tasks that are necessary for the mobile field application, and we flesh out this job within the project management application. But before we do, I'd like to take a look at what the job admin looks like before we press this button, because it's actually set up when we set up the job and it gets added to as we go along. So let's briefly take a look at that right now and see what it looks like. Then we'll click the button and see what effects that has, okay? Let's take a look. So this is the job admin section for this job, and you can see that we have all of our pertinent information here, and over here we have all our contact stuff, and it's very useful. Again, this is what we're talking about is partly for the field application and partly the office end, but right from within our application we can send an SMS to the customer, and we can call them right from here. See, you can hear my phone. Which is very helpful. So we have our customer contact. You know, I have that in here as me, but normally it would be a customer or one of the contacts for the customer. We can reach out to our job lead, to our estimator, our project manager. And of course, if you're logged in as a customer, these show up as phone numbers rather than buttons. Down here at the bottom, we have the meat and potatoes here, so to speak. There are 4 tabs here. The first one is the job schedule, which gets filled out when we create the work order. Job pictures, these are the same pictures that we were looking at when we were working on the estimate. And they're here as existing conditions. So anybody on the job or the customer can go through and look at the existing conditions. And most importantly, we can add additional folders and pictures as the job goes along, and it's really super easy to do that from the mobile field application. So getting the guys in the field to submit pictures as the job progresses is really quite easy. For job files section, what's really cool about the job file section is we can add files and we can determine who gets to see those files, right? I mean, if it's the estimate package here, we don't want the associate to see it, probably not the job lead, and probably not somebody with my admin, but we do want the project manager and the estimator and the customer to be able to see it. So that's very powerful. And then of course we have job notes where we can add notes about the job as things go on. So that's the job admin section before we click this button. Let's convert it to a work order and see what happens, not just in the job admin section, but what happens in our mobile field application and what happens with the project management application. All right, let's go. We're going to press the button and we're prompted to pick a start date. So we'll just pick, and of course this can always be changed, but we're going to pick a start date now of, let's say, August 21st. And it does take a few seconds because it's actually doing quite a lot in the background. Okay, the work order tasks were created successfully. Okay. So let's see, first of all, what happens on our job admin section. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is that we do now have a schedule. And this is very easy to adjust and make changes to. And right here we can track our progress as to which phase is getting done. And if we look at this, this is just our job phases. Prep and first coat walls and ceilings, prep for second coat walls and ceilings, spray second coat walls, mask and paint trim, and the number of minutes that's assigned for each one of these work phases. And then we also added 2 other tabs here. We have our job paint schedule, which is fleshed out with all of the different areas, and then we can very easily come in here and edit it and add different paints for each of the walls, ceiling, or trim. So that's pretty much what happens with the job admin section. And let's take a look now at the project management section, which is pretty spanking. Okay, so this is the job management section, and this is primarily designed, the job admin is for everybody pretty much. It's where we keep the job information, so to speak, in a coherent and together kind of place. This is where the project manager is going to manage the job, to actually assign different people to work on different tasks on different days. So there are 4 tabs up here. The first one, teams, is pretty self-explanatory, I think. You can create teams, and teams can have 1 or 10 people. It doesn't really matter, and they're very easy to edit. You can just come in here on the blue team, and okay, so Dan called in sick today, and you can just click him to inactive or make him active again. And you can also edit the members on the team, add members, subtract members, and you can have as many teams as you need, but things are assigned by team. So if you have a 1-person team, then 1 person gets the assignment. If you have, like the blue team here has 3 members, all members are going to get the same assignment. Next, we have the Gantt to scheduler. So this is, we'll close the Smith job here. This is our job. And 2 things you'll notice, we have it broken down into job phases. Each one of these phases has a certain amount of time to get them complete, but it also has the estimated number of minutes for that phase. So prep and first coat walls and ceilings is estimated at 814 minutes, somewhere around 12 hours. And we can change that again very, very easily, just by grabbing it and moving it. It's a very easy to edit chart. And same with the end of the day, we want to set our progress. We got that 69% complete. Then we just put that over to there. Now the next one is the team scheduler. And this is where we schedule the jobs. You can see we have 4 timelines here. We have blue team planned, blue team actual, team mark planned, and team mark actual. And the way this works is over here on the Gantt chart, we can just right click on this, click ready to assign. And you'll see it changes color. We get a little thing here that says it's ready to assign. Now when we go over to our team scheduler, right, we can just drag this right onto our timeline, and there it is. It says from 7 a.m. to 11:31. Now that is not 800 and whatever minutes it was, and that's because this gets divided by the number of people on a team. If it's 1 team, then all 814 minutes go on the timeline. If it's a 3-member team, then that gets divided by 3. Of course, it's not exact, and quite frankly, I spent 20 years in the paint and drywall business and never really got a good idea on how long things take. So when we first start out, these estimates are going to be way off. But what's cool is that as we use this, our numbers are going to get really, really tight. So anyway, the next thing we can do here is we can do job travel. So this is just sort of make believe, but we'll say from work order test to let's try that one. So anyway, when we hit submit here, what we're doing is we're reaching out to the Google Maps application, the Google Maps API, and getting a time estimate for what it takes to drive from this job to this job. So we submit it, we reach out to Google's API, okay, and here it is. And now we can drag this. This says it basically takes 10 minutes travel. So, but anyway, we can take this and drag this right down onto our job chart here. So now we have 2 tasks on blue team's planned day. And what's cool, when we look at the mobile application, we'll see this. This is actually automatically added to the blue team's mobile field application. They have a schedule within the application that shows them which job to go to first and the travel time. And what's really super cool is that as they go through the day, this gets filled out. So the project manager knows exactly what's happening in real time within his job. So when they start this, it gets noted, and then when they finish it, the actual time that they spent on it gets added to the actual timeline so that we can see how things are progressing as opposed to how we planned, and then we can let people know down the line if we're going to need to change the schedule arrival time. So one more thing I want to take a look at, and that's the map here. Right now the only thing that it shows is me And if I click on it, it shows I logged in at well, quite a while ago, since I've been playing around with things. But this will show all of the jobs and the people that are here. It'll be very helpful for the project manager to get an idea of where everybody is. So if something comes up in the middle of the day, we can get an idea of who the easiest team is to move around. Okay, so that's pretty much it for job management in a nutshell. And now let's take a look at the mobile field application.